Okay, hello and welcome to a new series where I'll be programming my new application called Windows Recovery Tool, as you can see here. And before anyone asks how I'm running Microsoft Visual Studio on a Mac, I am using Coherence, as you can see with these little stripy things. So, yeah. Anyway, let's get straight into it. So, as you can see here, we have the black dialog box. I'm going to start by dragging all the things I need to drag to it. First thing I need to drag is a picture box. And this will contain the background art for the program. Have to be a bit careful when dragging this, you don't want to go over. But the default guidelines keep you at least like a centimeter away. Yeah, so there we got the picture box here. Now I just have to image, there's none, I can just ... and we can import a file. See, look, it's a Windows dialog boxy thing. Hang on. It'll be in here somewhere. I'll find it, trust me. It'll be in here. And then in here. And then it'll be at the bottom. God, where is it? Hang on. There it is. Open that. That's really big. And we press OK. And that is really, really big. Which is okay, because it means it won't look blurry. Which is good. I just have to find the size and set that correctly. Okay, I don't want it to tile. I actually want it to be... what'll look better? Stretch. No, it's not working. Zoom. Why aren't any of these working? Hello. Why isn't this working? Why can't I get the... oh, that's the background image layout. Oh, that's right. I didn't press this. Change this. I can make this a bit small. Let me make this 400 by 400. I can't make it a bit small. Okay, hang on. I got an idea. I have an idea. Do not worry. I'm going to actually click none for that. And I'm going to go with the age-old trick of actually adding it as the background image instead. So I can then change the way it looks. There we go. Now, what looks better? That or that looks a bit... Now, keep in mind that after a while I want to get rid of this bar at the top, so it won't always look like this. It'll just be this window. I reckon that looks okay. That's nice. Okay, that's what we're going to go with. That will be that. Now, the idea of this is it's supposed to be an all-in-one tool that people can, you know, like, fix their Windows computer up with, I suppose. So we have to add a couple of buttons that actually take you to places first. So we just drag in one button. And this is going to be mainly aesthetic stuff in this episode. I probably won't be doing too much stuff. I think I'm going to have 2 buttons per line. And I'm just going to drag some buttons in. I'll give them a purpose in a second. And I'm going to add those in for now because I'm actually going to make this a bit bigger. I'll probably make them bigger than this too, actually. Yeah, when I was actually originally making this program, I didn't expect it to be as big as it turned out to be. Like, when I set the size for the art, I obviously put it as 900 by 900 because I thought that was going to be the right size. But when I put in 900 by 900 in the Windows size, it was massive. It was way too big. So hang on, I'm actually going to extend this to the center. That is not centered. Sorry, here you're going to have to forgive my OCD-ish. Oh my god, that's not centered either. Oh, maybe it is. Hang on, is that centered? Yeah, that's centered. That's centered. Okay, awesome. That was almost a problem. I'm going to drag a bunch of buttons in. I should probably give them some text so people know what they are. The first one, if I can find the text input, there it is. The first one will say, we'll make this one... I'll make this one. We'll try making this one. How about... Actually, I want to put some space between these buttons too. I'll do that in a second. How about we call this one... Just realised that some of those buttons will be there in the other. I'll fix that in a second. How about we call this one... This can be the restore points. So Windows Restore, which allows you to restore to a restore point that you created when you did something like an update or something. So Windows Restore is maybe one of the things. Other thing can be... We'll chuck Windows Update in there because it fixes some problems. It also makes ones. It's the whole reason I had to erase my other computer, which ended up in the loss of OS programming files. Windows Update sometimes helps, sometimes doesn't. So chuck it in there anyway. I actually still have to find out how you can open certain Windows settings. I know how to open a control panel via a button, but I have to find a way to open a certain setting. I'm sure there'll be a way to do it. And then this can be... Feel free in the comments to recommend some things I could actually put in, because 6 is not a lot. But, you know, it's good for now. This one can be... Actually, I'm going to skip this one for now. It's missing now. That was button 3. I'm just skipping that. There's a reason I'm skipping that. Button 5 is going to become... These bottom two are going to be Malwarebytes related. I don't own Malwarebytes or anything, so this will be download Malwarebytes because I can't actually distribute it because I don't own it, but it is free. It's a great program for getting rid of all the crap you've accidentally put on your computer. Especially adware, it's pretty good for adware. And then launch Malwarebytes. Now, downloading Malwarebytes will actually launch you into button 4, which is, if I can find the text again, there it is, the safe browser. Basically, the safe browser is a browser I'll actually be making myself in this program that shouldn't be blocked by browser blocking viruses. It shouldn't be. It's based off Internet Explorer, but it isn't Internet Explorer. Like, it doesn't run iExplorer.exe. It actually is just based off it. So I'm hoping that that won't be blocked. And button 3, I'll think of in a second. For now, I'm just going to actually fix the size of these dialog boxes, which isn't correct. There we go. I'm going to give it some space. Needs space, gosh darn it. Got a lot of space to use, so I'm just going to drag this all the way down here. Bam. Drag this about there. If I can get back onto that snap point, there it is. Drag this bit there. Drag it a bit. Oh, hang on, I just realised there's 6 buttons, so I'm going to make it a bit higher. Ching, there we go. Of course, there'll be more stuff, and it looks kind of empty, so I'm actually going to reduce some of that space. I know I just increased it, but I'm going to reduce it now because that much space is probably a bit too much. I'm trying to make this as accurate as possible. Considering that all I can really do is drag. Can't actually do anything apart from that, so there you go, that's pretty accurate-ish looking. That looks too small. Now they're the right size. That one's a bit too small too. Okay, now they're all the right size, it's okay. And as I said, this episode will mainly just be aesthetic things. So I'm going to go change this form 1 where it says up here, I'm going to change that to Windows Recovery Tool. Now, there's a couple of reasons I'm actually leaving some space up here, and the main reason for that is because, as I said earlier, I want to abolish this. I know how to do it, but it also requires me to add my own close maximize and minimize buttons here, I have to add my own, because once you get rid of this, it no longer actually, these buttons are not visible. So otherwise, unless you want the only way to close the program to be right clicking on it in the taskbar, you have to kind of add your own buttons in. That's why I'm leaving some space, which should be helpful, and I'm pretty sure the space there is bigger than the space here. Snapping is ruining my dreams. Hang on. If I do that, then snapping won't ruin my dreams anymore. Yes, it will. Damn it. Okay, maybe if I just drag that all the way out of the way, then it won't ruin my dreams anymore. Yep, there we go. Ching, there we go. So yeah, so just imagine that there's a close button, and I still have to put those in. There will be, all these buttons will have their own their own kind of custom texture. I haven't designed those yet, and there's a reason for that, because I'm actually pretty sure the buttons have to be in a different format. The background image is pretty flexible, like it can be in pretty much any format, but I'm pretty sure the buttons have to be in a .bmp. I have to look that up. I'm pretty sure. And cursor, pretty sure, yeah, that just changes what happens when you actually, when the person, I think it's hovers over. Is it hover over or click? It's just under appearance, doesn't really say. I'm assuming that happens when, assuming that's what would happen when someone like kind of hovers over it. I suppose I could have a mess around with that. I'll set button 3 to no, because there's like nothing in it at the moment. And then I'll say the text for button 3 will be work in progress. There we go. And actually, I'm also going to put another button down somewhere. I won't put that in yet though. But that'll be another thing we do this episode, that other button. Do that this episode as well. I'm actually just going to run this by clicking the start button, which runs the program. Is that the program? I can't tell. No, it's not. Okay, there's the program. I was going to say, is that the program? I can't tell. No, the program is here. There we go. Program's being a bit glitchy. So as you can see, it looks a bit ugly with this border. It won't have a border soon, so I won't need to worry about it looking a bit ugly with the border. There is a bit of a line here. As another thing you might see is that the window is resizable, which is not good, because as you can see, nothing resizes when you resize the window. And when you make the window smaller, things just screw up. Because then there's just Windows Restore. So, I'll have to fix it. Let me have a look. Yeah, okay, it is. So let's see, when I hover over this work in progress, there's like a no symbol now. It got like a no symbol. No, you cannot click this button. That's kind of handy. I didn't know that was there. Must be part of new. Another thing, by the way, I'm running this in Microsoft Visual Studio 2013, which, if you're wondering why it's black, the newest version lets you change the theme, so that's why it's black, because I like the black theme, it looks better. We haven't actually gotten into any of the coding yet, we're just doing aesthetic things. We'll get into the coding in a second. We're not going to do much coding this episode, so don't be too excited for that. I mean, we'll be excited for next episode, but so yeah, it's kind of handy. Just, no, you cannot open the work in progress button. And as you can see, these buttons just don't do anything at the moment. So our number one priority now is trying to figure out, I can't remember, I did it before, I can't remember how to make the window not resizable. I don't think it's been in behavior. Enabled, yeah, that's not helped. Whether the control is enabled. What control? I don't know what control is talking about. Whoa, okay, hang on. Oh, window style, yeah, this is where you get rid of the whole thing. I'll have to have a look at that again because it's been a while since I've seen that. Might be in size, maybe? Where's size? What happened to size? Did I miss size? I must have missed size. Yeah, there's size. Auto size mode. I'm wondering, there's no, like, nothing at the moment. Auto size is false. Size 400. Windows date. Minimize, maximize. Yeah, I know what that means, but hang on. I'm sorry about this. I'm still trying to find this layout. What am I looking at? Well, is this called layout? I thought this was called size. Okay, it's a button, Windows style. Yeah, Okay, we're not going to worry about it for now. It's because I can't be bothered to do that. I'll do that in the next episode. I've got some things to look up. It's been a while since I've programmed. One thing I will do though is I'll add a box. About button. About box? About button box. A box. About box. Just a button. It's down there. It's a smaller button. And it'll say about. And before I actually go program that, I'm just going to put a label in. The label's going to say... Oh, hang on. I might do it. Hang on, I'll change the text first. Click this button to get this fancy label editor, which I found is better because you can actually do multiple lines on this one. So this will say... Note. This is pre-beta developmental this is, hang on, I'm going to put the R back. I've just reworded what I was going to say in my head. This is a pre-beta developmental program and it may become unstable easily. I'm going to get rid of the and. I don't know why I'm backspacing it, but I am. It may become unstable easily. Stop. User uses this program at his/her own risk. Bam, and there we go. Now I'll actually just make this transparent quickly. Font, that's the font on the background color. Back color control. There is a way to make this transparent. I'm just going to find out how to do it. Doesn't really matter if it doesn't get done now. Custom. Ooh, custom. Oh, that's white. I was hoping that would actually have a difference. No, it just looks white. Back color. Well, for now there is a background color. I'll have a look into that. I suppose it can just be down here. No, I don't want it hovering over anything. You know what? I'm actually going to get rid of that. And because I can't be bothered to find out how to actually change that, I'm just going to cut this. Control X. And I'm actually just going to delete this label, and I'll do it in the about box. Where'd the label go? Where'd the label go? Where'd the label go? Form 1. Form 1. Boolean, picture. The label's gone away. That's okay with me. Sorry for that short interruption. But we are back. And I'm now going to design this about box. Firstly though, you need to make a new form. Yes, Windows form. The name will be, save the VB at the end. This will be called about box. We have the about box. Yay! The wonderful magical about box. Now I can just drag a label in and paste that text in. Can I not paste it? I can too. There we go. Beep. Are you kidding? I just pasted the first line. I have to paste it in here. There we go. Let's put that in the middle or somewhere. It's not really clipping to anywhere at the moment. We'll get another label. And this label will say, oh, I didn't mean to do that. That's accidentally got me into the coding bit, sorry. I tried to double click it to change the text. I'm very stupid. About. I'm going to have colon. And we're going to change the font. If I can find the font. There it is. It's a bit bigger. Button. You can make this a bit bigger here. Maybe 28. There we go. We'll underline it if I can find the underline section. There it is. We'll just set that to true. Bing. And there we go. And I'll just drag this to clip under there. Now I'm going to make another. What am I looking for? A label. Because I haven't really got much to put in the about box yet. This label will say under construction. There we go. Under construction. Just put it right next to the about thing, so people realise that the about is under construction. Then I'm also going to put a button, which, if I can find it, put it here for now, and this will say WRT, which is for Windows Recovery Tool Bug Report. If you use SimpleOS, you know that the bug report button, the button's not big enough, you know that the bug report button was actually available on the actual screen. I don't want to do that this time. I'm going to put it in the about box. Because if you think about it, if it's a major bug to the point where you can't open the about box, the chances are you're not going to be able to get to the actual program to click the button anyway, so that'll just be there. I could probably make the text a bit bigger actually, maybe not. Yes I can. Okay, there you go. Press the button, the text size up to 24, not 22 is okay. And that geez gets big. Just a massive button for Windows Recovery Tool Bug Reports. So if you ever need to report a bug, you can click that. I haven't actually created the website for this yet, and there won't be a website created for it until I actually release the program, so that button will not work at the moment. I'm actually going to change the title of this because it's got an underscore, because that's just the way that it works. I don't know why, it's just the way it is. Okay, so there we go, now it just gets rid of that. I'm okay with the first one being Form 1, it's always called Form 1 anyway. So these say design next to them. That actually means, actually no, I'm going to actually rename this, if possible. Yeah, I'm actually going to rename this Form 2, and there's a reason for that. Because that's how I've always done it, and I don't know why I didn't do it this time. But that's how I've always done it. I forgot that that's different to that. I do that for a reason that it's actually easier to call upon this dialog box if it's called Form 2. So you can see these say design because I'm not actually coding anything. Once I double click this about box, I get here. There's always a bunch of stuff which I'm going to delete because I don't need it anymore. Delete. There we go. Now I can come back here, button 7 click. So when this basically says when button 7 is clicked, I'm going to tell it what to do. I'm going to type in form, hang on, I have to spell it, form 2 dot visible. This is not what is it? Hang on, form. Hasn't renamed it Form 2 in the actual thing, has it? It's still called About Box, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Well, that was stupid of me. That was really stupid. I'm actually... That's okay. Hang on. I'm actually going to go back and rename this back to About Box just because there's no point in keeping it like that now because I figured out that it's actually not going to change that. So now I can come here and actually do something about box. As you can see, I can just click tab and that'll put that in, and then I go dot visible. I'm going to put a equals, and I'm going to select true. Wonderful. And that should just make the about box visible. It's super simple, but it's probably the only coding we'll be doing in this episode. And that, if I'm correct, if I haven't forgotten everything I used to know, when this program launches, I should be able to click this, and voila, there we go, we've got the About Box opening. So the About Box opens as soon as we click the About button. So as you can see, I click About, whoop, get an About Box. Can't click it more than once, it just kind of works that way. And there's this massive button that does nothing. All these other buttons do nothing. This work in progress button has an X over it when you click it, but you can still click it, so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't do anything. This is the only button that we got working today, and it opens the About Box. So, yeah, we've got much to do, but that is where I'm going to end the first episode, because I've just looked at the clock and realised this has probably been going on for a very long time. So, thanks for watching, and I will see you again in the next video. Goodbye.